Hi guys, welcome to my home. I am your host, Tahir Salim, CEO of Saleem Development Group. Today we're filming a day in my life. Now we will take two of our cars, the BMW M3 and the Lamborghini Evo, by the beach area to get the cars washed. And afterwards we'll probably head on to Huntington Beach, the location of our 48 unit condo project. And if you are lucky, we may end up going to Norco and looking at the most updated status of that project. So we just dropped off the M3 and the Lamborghini to get it washed. And then we just walked over to the Newport Beach Ferrari. These are my go-to guys for Ferrari. Anyway, I want to talk about something that's very important to me, which is, we have a lot of cars, or I have a lot of cars. I have Ferrari, Lamborghini, what are other ones, Porsche, this and that. But the thing is, these cars, they're very nice. Do I like them? I like them very much. Do I love them? No, I don't love them. I don't love cars. I like cars. There's things that are far more important than beautiful cars. And the way you live your life, the way you touch other people's lives is far more important than a nice car. So for me, what's a lot more important is my kids' education, my kids' behavior, and the way I live my life, which is, the way I interact with people, the respect I give and expect. Those things are far greater than any cars you'll ever own. Possessions should not define you. You should be defined by your behavior, your accomplishments to some degree, your education to some degree, but absolutely not by your material goods. If somebody is measuring themselves by their material wealth, that means they don't have anything sincere or anything concrete to offer. And that's all they have is money. And that's not enough. That's a huge part of success, but that is not actual success. So I want to emphasize that because we're talking about day in my life. So I wanted to share with you what other Ferraris I've ordered. I've ordered a 296 GTB, a Ferrari SF90 Spider, and a Ferrari Parasangue V12. One is for next year, one's for year after that, and one's for year after that. So that will take about 3 years to get all three cars. And by then, I'm sure I'll sell one or two of my other cars. But the key thing is, I didn't want to buy all of them at once because as we grow and our finances get better and better and better, I can foresee that in a year, I should be able to afford another one. And in 2 years, I should be able to afford another one. I don't want to buy all three of them at the same time because you want to grow first and then you want to buy something that you really like or you think would be fun. You don't want to do it all at once, and you should absolutely never spend more than you can afford. In fact, a lot of people say stay within your means. I would go further than that. Stay below your means. Staying below your means is one of the most sound financial advice I can give you. I didn't buy my first Ferrari until I was 51 years old. I could have bought it when I was 41 years old, but I didn't buy it. I waited much longer. Live below your means if you want to succeed in business and really in life. So if you can afford something that's $100,000, buy something that's $40,000. And eventually you will buy that $100,000 car, but you'll buy that $100,000 car when you can afford $300,000 car. That's how you do it. Both cars are clean now. We're on our way to Newport. Quick question.
Okay.
If you had the money to invest, would you put it in real estate or business?
Okay.
Or would you put it in a beautiful car like this?
Beautiful car like this. I want a Lamborghini. Yeah. I want the Lambo. I'm taking the Lambo.
Here you go.
Let's go.
Hi guys, we just got done filming in Huntington Beach where we had a lot of interaction with general public talking about would they pick a Lamborghini or business investment or real estate investment. But anyway, now we're back in a different part of Huntington Beach where we're developing 48 units, condo units. And what I want to talk about today is what is the status of the project. Well, we got a loan approval. The problem is the cost of construction have gone up over last 1 year, year and a half. And the amount of loan that we asked for was not the amount that got approved. Because the rates have gone up, the payment that the bank is comfortable with is really on a smaller loan. We expect to start in the second quarter of 2024 for construction.
Hey, excuse me, sir, are these your cars?
Yeah.
Dang, these are These are really nice. If you don't mind me asking, what do you like? What do you do for a living?
I'm a real estate developer,
Okay.
business developer, business consultant.
Gotcha.
But if you, honestly, I'm going for lunch. But if you really want to know,
Yeah.
I'll take you to lunch.
Like, well, like right now?
Yeah, let's go right now.
Oh,
Get
okay.
right now.
Awesome. Sounds good. Let's
All right,
do it.
Let's do it. Today, I'm here with my friend Mason. I met him today at our newest development, and he had some questions about my business development, real estate development, and consulting. Now we're going to be talking more in depth. Go ahead, Mason. Ask me whatever you'll want to ask.
First off, my name's Mason LaRue. I'm a photographer and videographer. That's just a short little introduction. I've been doing this stuff for about 3-4 years now, and I'm glad I met Tahir so that I can gain some more knowledge about the whole business side of things. So yeah, when I was coming out of the store, Tahir, I saw your nice cars, and I was just curious on, like, if you give me a brief explanation on how you got there.
So basically, I started after high school. I went to college, got my degree in chemical engineering, worked as an engineer for 10 years, then got into business. We bought a business, but after that, I started doing business development and real estate development. And Mason, I want to tell you the two of the most important things in business. Actually, there's a lot of important factors. I shouldn't just say two. One is your education, your fundamental education. And that means not just high school, but hopefully college and university. And secondly, your devotion to education. So not only should you go to college, in my view, or going to college was helpful, but I was devoted to learning. So I guess I would expand it at college along with additional learning. So learning should never stop. For the last 23, 24 years, I've been doing this. In addition to whatever I had learned through education and then my work experience as an engineer, I'm constantly learning.
Yeah.
And also an open mind where your thought process should be, I do not know. The people who tend to say I do not know actually tend to know the most because they're always trying to learn.
Right.
And the person who's cocky, arrogant, thinks he knows everything and he's young and just maybe graduated high school, maybe didn't even finish high school, whatever.
Yeah.
He may not know anything. And he knows so little that he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
Exactly.
And he's clueless, or she, but
yeah,
whatever. But so you want to stay away from arrogance and being shallow and focus on education and learning. That's a first. Next is discipline. Discipline is very critical in success in anything, not just business, not just schooling, not just real estate development or anything. It's just in sports. It's important in everything. So discipline is doing something over and over and over, doing it at the right time, with the right frequency, with the same intensity as you always put in. And that's hard to do.
That's super hard for some people.
That's hard to do, but you have to develop it. And if you don't have discipline, you probably will not
stick to things.
Yeah, you probably cannot succeed.
Yeah.
The third thing is consistency. You can't get bored on what you do. I mean, if you get bored, you can't stop. And you have to keep learning and keep things interesting. So consistency. So you can't start a business today and a month later you're on to another business. Yeah. 2 months later you're on to another business.
Consistency is key.
Or same thing in education. You know, today you're political science major, tomorrow you're history major. You know, day after that you're math major and then engineering major. 2 months after that, you gotta focus on what you want and keep that consistency. So consistency is very important. Another thing that's very important is how to deal with setbacks. Whether it's in education or business or life in general, you will have setbacks. And how you bounce back on those setbacks has a lot to do with how you will succeed. And then hard work, you can never forget about hard work. Of course you have to work hard. I mean that goes without saying. And the key again with hard work is hard work with consistency and discipline. Because working hard for a week or 2 weeks is not enough. It's weeks and weeks and weeks, and then years and years and years.
Just like the consistency and discipline thing.
Yeah.
All ties together.
So a lot of people think that just because you work hard for 3 months, now you're entitled to buying a Lamborghini. That's not what it means.
Not at all.
It's years and years.
Not at all.
So anyway, hard work. And then another factor I think is very important is humility. Because if you're not humble, you'll tend to overspend. You'll probably live above your means. But if you have humility, you'll probably live within your means, or maybe even below your means. And that's going to be helpful whether you're going to college, because you don't want to have your expenses so high that you end up having to quit college, or you're working 35 hours a week while you're going to college.
Exactly.
I don't believe people going to college should be working 35, 40 hours a week. There's some people going to college to have 3 jobs or 2 jobs. I'm thinking you got to make sacrifices somewhere else, and you can't be working. In my view, if you're going to college with a serious major, you can't work more than 20 hours. For I would say
so?
vast majority of the people. The time you're working, you should be studying. You should be partying. You should be studying.
You're right.
I think that.
How do you think? Sorry to interrupt. I just had a question. How do you think somebody who's in that position at like university or putting all their time into school, how do you think they should move financially, like job wise?
When we talk about financing, first thing that comes to my mind is expenses. Your expenses should be minimized.
As minimum as you can, huh?
So if you're living in the dorms, hopefully you don't need a car. You can do without a car. But anyway, if you're not living in dorms, then you shouldn't be having your own apartment. You could be living with your parents. You can have a car, but living with your parents. So cut down your expenses. After that, if you're graduated already, you should try to maximize on job opportunities, but the way you maximize on job opportunities and your income is to try to pick a major that is going to support the kind of income you want to make. So if you want to, at some point, be at a point where your income is $200,000 a year, you got to start thinking, how am I going to get there? And work backward.
You're right.
You know, if you want to be at $200,000 in 20 years, okay, then what do I need to do 19 years from now, 18 years from now, 17 years from now, 60, working backwards, and that will get you to what you need to be doing now. You know, in a simple terms, if you want to be making, if you want your salary to be 200,000, 250, whatever, 10, 12 years from now, you better pick a major in college that reflects on it reflects your desires. So if you want to be making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, then you're gonna have to pick a major that like I said is consistent.
So you've been talking a lot about how important education is. Being a young adult in this day and age, I'm always hearing that college or schooling isn't the most important thing because of how easy it is to become financially free nowadays. And I was curious on your take on that.
Well, I still think education is very important. I think that you spend 12, 13 years to finish 12th grade. And you learn some basic skills. If you spend another 4 to 5 years, you can really probably more than triple your knowledge. More than triple. It's like getting ready to do something but never finishing it. Your first 12 years is almost like a prep to really learn.
Mr. Saleem, so you're telling me that if I go to school, focus on my studies, stay disciplined, stay grounded, and have the utmost humility that I could possibly have, you're telling me that I could sit in one of these one day?
Well, Mason, yes, probably. There's no guarantee that if you do everything right in life, that you would succeed or you would be able to succeed in anything. There's no guarantee. Instead of having a long conversation and trying to explain to you, let me just take you to Norco, where we're building our 2 newest projects. And just see for yourself.
Gotcha. All right, let's go.
Well, Mason, first of all, it's a great day to meeting you. You hear from a lot of people that, people get on the internet. They talk about all the stuff that's going on. They do. A lot of them just don't do it, and they just project that they do. And you were asking me, am I for real? Are we really doing this?
Yeah.
So I brought you over here in Norco to look at our latest 2 developments. Dutch Brothers over here, and to the right of me, the Freddy's. And as you can see, the grading's been done on both. We're doing them simultaneously with one contractor, and we've been working on this for about 2 months now, about 8 weeks, and we believe that the Dutch Brothers should be opening somewhere end of February, and maybe in the middle of February, and then Freddy's should be around March of next year.
Gotcha.
So they're about a month apart. We purposely wanted them to be a month apart. And what do you think so?
I think this is crazy. I just had one question. How do you, because when we were talking earlier off camera, you mentioned that you're partnered with multiple Wiener Schnitzels, correct? How do you know which restaurant to invest in? Like, what makes Freddy so special, or what makes Dutch Bros so special?
I'm going to give you a very general term. You look at the profitability, and you look at the demographics. But there's a lot, and I could not go in detail with you without talking about stuff that really needs to be one-on-one or at a more, sit down, taking 2-3 hours type of discussion. But in general, you want to make sure that the site that you're going into meets the criteria that makes that brand successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that makes a lot of sense.
But having said that, but my question I ask you is, because I'm going to answer it for you if you don't tell me, why do you think we're not going to try to open them at the same time? Why they one is 1 month before the other one?
I want to say, just from my knowledge, I want to say that you guys do that because you want to see how it performs.
No,
No?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because we don't have a choice now. Once you started construction,
Oh, well,
we're gonna open
yeah,
them, right? So
yeah.
that doesn't matter now. The reason we do that is because when restaurants open, they are very busy. If we open both of them at the same time, the traffic would be
Too much.
horrendous.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let Dutch Brothers open first.
Yeah.
And after about a month, their traffic would die down a little bit, and then we'd open Freddy's.
Okay.
That's the reason.
I see. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Tahir. Awesome.
Take care.
You too.
Thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you guys watching our content. Please continue. Thank you very much.
Saleem Development Group.